Hey guys, just wanted to pop in real quick before the video and give you a friendly little PSA. If you're not a huge nerd slash tech employee like Lupens and I are, there is a good chunk of this video that is dedicated to technology brands. And that's just who we are as people. We like to talk about that kind of stuff. But yeah, it did end up making it into the video. So I wanted to let you guys know that we're going to nerd out a bit today. But yeah, I'll see you over there. Hey guys, Two-Face here, and welcome back to my What/Who is CTR series. We're just kind of going in chronological order still. I'm introducing you to all the guys on the team. Today I got Lupens. Say hi, Lupens.
Hey, what's going on?
And Lupens and I have known each other for a bit now. Like basically, I think we talked maybe a little bit before. I think we played like Risk of Rain together before we played Zapekist.
No, yeah, Risk of Rain, a couple of other games before that too.
But like Zapekist, I definitely feel like is where I started hanging out with Lupens very regularly.
Yeah, this really brought like everybody together for sure.
Which was nice, honestly. Like it kind of felt like it was a great community-focused game to the point where like you can just vibe with people. It doesn't really even matter if you get along or not naturally. Like sometimes this game just is super helpful to just sit and vibe.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
For sure. It was one of those things where like it's not as serious of a game as you would find like others. So like Trackmania has a pretty good community compared to something like this. This is a lot more laid back.
Yeah. Well, I always tell people this, it's like, this is the least competitive game you can find. Like, it's competitive in the sense that there are rankings, you know what I mean? Like, you can get first or second or third or whatever, but in terms of like overall like skill in this game, it really boils down to like a lot of random stuff. So even if you are super skilled at this game, the game itself can mess you up.
It's true, it's very non-deterministic.
Right. So it's hard to really call this like a like competitive game for me because everything is so non-deterministic, basically. So I typically just take it more lax, and it works well for me.
Yeah, just kick back, crack open whatever you got, and yeah, deal with friends and play around.
Oh yeah.
Make some maps, make something for the community. Everybody's down with it.
Was this your third track?
So this was...
You had Quad Twister, then Philo Mantra, then this, right?
Yeah.
That's what I recall. Either that or it was Max Straight before this.
I think it's also kind of a blur now.
I know, it feels like so long ago, doesn't it?
It really does.
It's like only almost a year ago, I want to say. Like, it really wasn't like super long ago, but like so much stuff has happened in this game since that it's just hard to keep track of it all.
That is true. With all the version changes and everybody making new maps, it's grown so much since we joined.
Sure.
But yeah, if you're sure, the very first track I did end up making had a lot of issues. The only reason why we're not doing that one first is mainly due to those issues. It's long. I didn't really know much about map making. The thing had a ton of cuts.
It's very cuttable.
Yeah, it was so cuttable that it no longer was the map it was.
That's true. That's very true. I mean, and like, I feel like this community is kind of prone to that. Like, once someone finds a cut and people start like putting down times with the cut, like it just spreads like a virus. Like, everyone's doing the cut the next day. There's like nothing you can do to like fix it sometimes. Like, you'll go in and fix it and people are like, oh yeah, you just do this part different. You can still do it. Doesn't matter. Like, but I don't know. Like, I feel like people underuse checkpoints a lot in this game. I definitely feel like overusing checkpoints isn't really something you can do. It's really nice to have your splits all the time. Let's put it that way. Like,
yeah, that is super nice.
It's as someone who plays this game a lot, like seeing splits and knowing how I'm doing makes me so much happier than like just sitting there wondering if I'm doing well for a super long amount of time. Dang. Lupins with the 56-6.
Yeah, that PB is getting away from me. But nah, this one's kind of hard. It does have a little bit of RNG element because of all the boosters and whatnot.
Right.
There is some consistency, but that little pipe ride upwards and the whole top section, yeah, it's kind of tricky to get the right line on.
Right. Yeah, it totally is. You have to do like a brake tap, and then you gotta like turn at the correct time in order to maintain all your speed. This one's pretty hard. It's part of your mantra series. You want to talk a little bit about what your mantra series is?
Yeah, so originally the mantra started out with a map called Philo Mantra, and the whole purpose of it was to just kind of do things that weren't in the game at the time, and testing your ability to handle those kinds of little niche things that you would never do in like a regular map.
Right.
So like a drop down into a backwards ride up a wall, going back down, doing a very bad like ramp to ramp jump, and just handling things that don't seem appropriate.
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 I like your choice in words there. It doesn't seem appropriate. It's like I could just imagine a mom. This track is inappropriate. Like.
Yeah. So every one of them has a little kind of niche to it. So right now we're playing the Estella Mantra, and the Estella Mantra is trying to test your ability to get your angles correctly. So the end of it is definitely the hardest part.
Oh, for sure. This part I'm on right now.
You got to take it super wide and be very uncomfortable with that line.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've always wanted to ask you this actually. Do you have like a way you name your maps, or do you just like find words you think are cool, or like, cause like, right, like for example, like Philo Mantra, the only thing that comes to mind when I hear the word philo is philo dough.
So to answer that one, I just try and think in the back of my head, like, well, what actually sounds cool? And then half of the time I ditched that idea, and then I end up going with like either a Latin thing. I try to find some kind of a Latin word to use, because LupensCruor is all Latin. It's Latin through and through.
Right.
So I want to try and keep up the namesake and make the ones that are like super special, kind of like a Latin theme.
That makes sense. I know nothing of Latin. Do you like have like a little bit that you know, or is it just like a typically you like just Google it kind of thing?
Yeah, I Google it. I don't know it like fluently. I've never actually taken any kind of course or anything on it, but I like how Latin actually sounds.
That's fair.
And being the prefix to English and everything like that, I think it's just a good like homage
right.
to everything. I know, that's really it about that one.
Interesting. You're a controller player, correct?
Yes.
You're using an 8BitDo controller right now?
Yeah, right now the 8BitDo got the whole like a hall of sensors and everything, so hopefully cross your fingers that it doesn't
no stick
have any
drift.
of that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm starting to get some pretty bad stick drift myself, and I'm really looking forward to buying one of those. But I have a big trip coming up soon. In fact, this video is probably going to release while I'm on that trip. So, yeah, hopefully when I'm back, I can get a new controller, because my stick drift is driving me crazy.
Yeah, that's why I'm stopping using either PlayStation, Xbox, or any of those major game brand style of controllers, just because they cheap out. They cheap out on those sticks.
Well, I don't feel like they've changed them in forever. Even like Nintendo is guilty of just reusing the same sticks. Like, I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it just doesn't make any sense from a, well,
Like
I guess it does, because you have to buy a new controller.
right. Well, I mean, it's like, it's just what Apple does, right? Everyone's just copying Apple. Like, hey, once it breaks, you got to buy a new one.
Yeah, Apple's the worst business.
As a certified Apple repair technician, I can confirm.
Everything is proprietary.
Oh,
you
yeah.
thought Dell was bad. Oh man.
Dell is like actually killing it lately, in my opinion.
No, so Dell is good for server-side stuff. I don't really appreciate like all the like desktop systems that they come out with, because let's say if you just bought that and you're trying to make it a gaming computer, right? It has a bunch of that internal equipment that kind of limits you from doing anything.
Right.
Like,
I understand that, but like, as someone who's worked like for the public, namely Geek Squad in recent years, when people ask you what a good like brand name for a gaming PC is, and you know that they're not going to be able to handle anything aside from like a pre-built PC, cost to performance wise, Dell's pretty good. Like, I understand where you're coming from in the terms of you and I are both mega nerds and we know what we're doing, and neither of us would ever own that. But in terms of the average consumer, I feel like it's a pretty good company.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong with that one, for sure. You're not wrong at all with that. Like, I will say, if you were to go base Dell, honestly, if you're the hardcore gamer, like, you want to try and stick with Alienware, albeit expensive, but Alienware does kick really good.
I feel like I've had really bad luck with Alienware since Dell bought them out. Yeah. Since they've been a Dell company, I've had more more Alienwares to fix than like Dells.
That's interesting.
They've been more consistent, and that's just like within the last few years. I don't do consumer electronic repair anymore. I mean, I do like as a hobbyist, but like I do like computer repair for a large corporation now. I'm not like in the public eye, so.
Gotcha.
Anyways, let's stop talking about technology. Let's see. I don't know. I don't have my question book that I always have in front of me, and yes, I do cheat on like all of these. That is a pro tip for everyone watching right now. I cheat. I mean, you watched Con and Cosmo and Dapper and them before you started playing, or at least Con, right? Before you started playing Zapekist?
So yeah, it all started with that and actually watching that, and I had always wanted to be in some kind of Trackmania-esque style of game.
Yeah.
But the true kicker is when I came home and watched you, Zed, and a couple of other people actually playing the game, and Zed let me play it, and I was like, all right, I'm in.
I'm in. Where do I sign up? Let me give you my money. Yeah, no, it's definitely, I also had tried Trackmania at the time, you know, but I didn't really get into it. That being said, I always tell people that I had like probably the most unfair Trackmania experience, because the only Trackmania I've ever played is Trackmania Turbo, and if you know anything about Trackmania, it's like the least Trackmania. It's got like a bunch of different vehicles in it and stuff, and it's just like totally not like a classic Trackmania game. But my experience with it was not great in comparison to this game, and this game definitely like scratched the itch for me 100%, especially from like the creative aspect with map making and stuff.
Oh yeah, this game is great at the whole creation thing.
There we go. Finally. Took me forever. Holy cow.
Now that turn is...
It's evil. Evil. Evil is his one and only name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like that.
tip to anybody who does play this map in a lobby: if you're going on that outside turn, you have to turn the entire time, or else you're not going to make it.
Nope, sure aren't. Oh man, do I have time for another run? I do. Okay, cool, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. But yeah, the reason I'm kind of making these videos is because I want to be able to have all my CTR buds in videos with me more often, to where I'm not having to rely on like the same handful of people over and over. And I just want to really familiarize like my audience with you guys. That way, if I have you guys in here like on a chat or something, everyone's not just like super confused. Just like, who are these people, you know? We're establishing the fact that you guys and I are friends.
Yeah. We're all part of the same team.
But yeah, no, really, CTR is just a big chill squad. Basically, we all just hang out. But yeah, that's all. That's all we got time for today. Thanks for racing with me, Lupens.
Yeah, not a problem. Anytime.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you later. Bye.